Good afternoon. Welcome to episode 64 of the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Wright, coming to you from the lovely, now rainy, kind of windy, and hurricane-like confines of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Wherever you may be watching or listening, I thank you as always. Like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. You can check us out now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and as well as on Substack. Guys, it's been a couple days since I dropped the videos. I've definitely gotten the comments and the feedback. I love you guys. I appreciate everything. Definitely appreciate the love, all of it. I try to make sure I respond back to as many messages and comments that I get. I respond back to every one of you individually. So I thank you all, and I thank you for the support and love. And I see the numbers are climbing on Spotify. Good to see. Good to see. We're almost there where we need to be. But like I said, as always, I just want to thank you guys. Because without you guys, the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast, let's face it, wouldn't really be any show without you guys. So I thank you. And continue to watch, continue to like, share, subscribe, continue to comment. And like I said, if you see something, that you think I might want to talk about or, might be interesting to me, definitely hit me up. Like I said, there's multiple lanes and channels. Hit me up. You can also check me out on my email. My email is posted within the link too. So nonetheless, guys, we're going to hop right into it. This episode 64, is going to be talking about Team USA basketball versus Brazil. Team USA, two thrilling wins. They got the win against Brazil, which was a dominant blowout win. Then it was a great thrilling win yesterday against Serbia and Nikola Jokic and Bogdanovic and those guys. Great game. They had to fall back and show perseverance. I have an episode coming out on that as well. However, this episode is going to be touching on the game against Brazil, some of the key notes and things that I observed, some of the things I wanted to touch on, what I thought was interesting. Hopping right into the first quarter, it clearly showed early on in the game that Joel Embiid was going to be an impact. Joel Embiid kind of like, there's these mold of guys. Joel Embiid, Karl Anthony Towns, Jokic, Anthony Davis. There's several guys that, I'm probably missing off the top of my head, but there's a lot of centers now. We know how the game is played now. There's a lot of centers that can shoot the three ball. And I always feel like if a center hits that shot, and he's known to take that shot, but if he hits that shot early, you're in trouble. Because now he has confidence. And it just seemed like Embiid, from the opening salvo of that shot, he had confidence the rest of the game. Team USA destroyed Brazil in the paint. Utterly destroyed them. In that first quarter, if you're teaching kids, if you're teaching somebody how to play basketball, that was a school on how to literally run to the paint, get layups, get floaters, get easy buckets. It just seemed like Brazil had no damn defense for Team USA, no interior presence, and obviously speaking to Embiid, that's why he was so dominant. Going further into it, Booker was getting started early too in that first quarter, hitting a lot of three-point shots early. He's another one where if he gets, he's kind of been quiet. Didn't really have great games the past couple games, but this Brazil game and this game and the game we're going to also talk about in another video against Serbia, Booker stepped up. Booker has definitely made his presence felt on the court. It was a blowout early. Just literally by the end of the first quarter, it was clearly in Team USA's favor. Wasn't really much of a match. Wasn't really much of a back and forth. It was just strictly Team USA dominating the game. Now in the second quarter, that's where things started to get a little interesting. In the second quarter, Brazil started to close the gap a bit. But again, Joel Embiid having that confidence, being hot from three, hit some more shots. At that point, he had already hit 2 3-pointers. So again, goes back to that confidence that I spoke about. But the passing, something that gets me excited when I watch Steve Kerr led teams, and obviously it's all been Warrior teams, granted, but Steve Kerr led teams, one thing that I like about it, the passing, the unselfishness, but the cutting. Having a LeBron, having, Steph, having a KD, having some of these guys who are known to get the ball to, their counterparts, to their constituencies, that means so much. You could just see where, and it's almost startling because it kind of proves my point of what I was saying of why the Sixers should have went after LeBron James this offseason if they had the opportunity. Because him playing with Joel Embiid, especially in this game, you saw it. The backdoor passing, the cutting. There's really no match. And I just love the way, again, credit to Steve Kerr on how he has these guys prepared, how he's coached them, how he's prepped them for this tournament, how he's prepped them for this run. They're definitely, the passing and cutting has just been flawless throughout this tournament for Team USA. LeBron was in triple-double mode. I mean, again, rare air when you're talking about LeBron in the Olympics. A lot of things that he accomplished, that he does accomplish Olympic wise, are very rare, especially with the 10 years he's put in his career. However, he was just in triple double mode. He was in attack mode. He was making sure he was attacking, but he was making sure his teammates were fluid and within the game. Whenever you see LeBron doing that, you know you're in trouble. You know as a defense, you're up, for the proverbial Schitt's Creek if he's definitely getting the ball moving around like that. So credit to LeBron for that. Credit to LeBron for especially how he was great attacking the paint. He was using his frame a lot to manipulate the defense. I mean, it was a masterclass in, watching him take over a game, more or less establish the game and set the table for the rest of his teammates. It was beautiful to see. And, of course, by the end of the second quarter, the blowout had started again. And you just kind of saw Brazil didn't really have an answer. I mean, didn't have an answer for LeBron, didn't have an answer for Joel Embiid. Booker was hitting shots. It just really didn't have a lot of answers for a lot of the talent and firepower that Team USA was throwing at him. Also, Anthony Davis, too, was getting on the action. So, credit there, too. Looking at that third quarter again, Devin Booker hitting those shots. You had still more of that fluidity with the ball. Kevin Durant, though, I want to give a shout out to KD. In that third quarter, he was acknowledged for becoming the Olympics all-time men's and women's leading scorer, which again, I'm kind of torn on because that's not a small feat to play on the greatest stage in the world, which is the Olympics. And I know some people feel, they have varying opinions on the Olympics. Some people feel like the Olympics is shit. Some people feel like the Olympics are the end all be all. I mean, for an average person like me who's not going to make it to the NFL or not make it to the NBA, if you're playing in the Olympics, that is the top level. And again, for this guy to have the all-time men's scoring record and women's scoring record, I guess he should have it because he's an NBA athlete. However, though, he's still playing against other great players and other great talent, and you got to give him credit for that. So shout out to KD for that. Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards. You just saw by the end of that third quarter, started to get in on the action. And it's amazing how it's been a pattern. LeBron sets the table. One of the shooters, whether Curry, Booker, Halliburton, one of the shooters gets hot. Guys start feeding in. Bam starts making plays. And then lo and behold, by that third and fourth quarter, here come Ant-Man. The second team in the fourth quarter, because by this point the game was a blowout. The second team by this point killed Brazil. I mean, it was just up and down the floor in Brazil. Brazil really was just out of it. Didn't really have an answer. The lineup mashups, though, again, credit to Steve Kerr. The lineup mashups are working. This team is deep. I mean, when you have starters on the bench, starters on the first team, you got guys that are teams number ones that are playing number two, backups that are probably the sixth, seventh guy on the bench, sixth, seventh guy on the roster, maybe on the bench, proverbially, and they're now getting playing time. It's amazing to see. So this team definitely should win. So it's not a shock. But if we're going to get into the scores from the game, Devin Booker was the leading scorer. He had 18 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. He's 5 of 7 from 3, so that was definitely impressive to see. Joel Embiid had 14 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 of 3 from 3, as I spoke to, having that confidence. He was taunting the crowd, trolling them. It was a masterclass to see. Joel Embiid at his finest. Anthony Edwards, like I said, Ant-Man definitely got in on the action. 17 points, so he was technically the second leading scorer for Team USA. 17 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 of 7 from 3. He got into the flow. Once he got into the action, it was pretty much over. Anthony Davis, he was aforementioned earlier. 13 points, 3 assists, 8 rebounds, 1 of 2 from 3. Again, great showing from KD as well. Anthony Davis and KD, as I just mentioned, 11 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. Didn't hit any 3-point shots, but at that point, he was just sealing the deal. Didn't really need him to. And that's pretty much going to do it for this coverage on this episode from Team USA versus Brazil and that dominant win from Team USA. I will have the thrilling and exciting coverage coming from Team USA versus Serbia in the next episode. You can check with us always on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Substack. Thank you for watching the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. May you be safe in the Tri-State area if you're dealing with this storm right now. Wherever you may be watching, again, thank you as always. Take care and enjoy your day.